Alright, what's going on, everybody? Y'all already know what's up. It's another episode of the PootieTim show. And, I'm going to start off by saying, ever since I started this podcast, these last couple weeks have been crazy. And when I mean crazy, like, in a great way, like it's been like mind blowing, and I've been loving every minute of the stuff I've been going through as far as interviewing, going to these events, talking to different artists, exchanging info, having certain experiences on the train when I'm sitting there looking at my Instagram page to post the next picture or things. And there's always that one person like you're next to and they kind of look at your phone. I know they not like intentionally being nosy, but it's just a habit. You feel me? Like it's just like, oh, but then they catch themselves. But I've been situations like that where a person will look and see, but the picture that I'm posting like really catches their eye, and they've been asking me, oh, when did you take that picture? What are you like posting the picture for? And when I'm telling them, they become real interested. So they become real interested, and the funny thing is, it's been a couple times. It happened a lot of times, and majority of the time these people were like in the art field themselves. And it's so funny because like they actually added me on Instagram, on what I'm saying, on my Instagram pages, and then like a couple days later they'll message me and give me feedback on what I've been doing and how they like it, how they like what I'm doing, how they like my Instagram page, how they like the podcast, and actually giving me feedback. And I really thank them for that. And that's why these past weeks been real bugged out, because it's all about putting the work in, and I'm trying to you know give people exposure and show appreciation that there's people out there doing great things. You feel me? And with that being said, when I started, I had the idea in mind. I knew I was gonna start soon. But the very first actual art show that I went to was the Views exhibit, which was ran by BrianniT. Shout out to her at BrianniT. She ran a great event. It was crazy. It was organized, all that. I loved every minute of it. The artists that was there had great artwork. And it's called the Views exhibit, where whoever whoever was there, it was a Drake theme, to where they had to create a piece based on Drake. Whatever it was related to Drake, associated with Drake, they had to, whatever creation they wanted to come up with, it just had to be Drake related, and it was fire. I ain't even going front. Everybody did a crazy job there. But, you know, being what I'm doing, I'm going to events and all that. That at that moment I didn't go specifically to like network or like exchange any info or try anything for myself. It was actually to support my cousin Sean. And I went there, he invited me. He was like, yo, pull up, you feel me? Like, I got this event. I'm like, I bet, yo, I'm gonna get the ticket, you feel me? I'm gonna show love, because he doing his thing with the painting. His paintings is fire and all that. And the joint he did for the Drake was crazy. I was like, damn, yo, you did your thing on that, dogs. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you, son. Like, to where it's like I had to tell him, like, yo, keep going, my nigga. Like, don't stop. You feel me? He's doing crazy. He's doing a great job. So, shout out to him. Shout out to my cousin Sean. I'm proud of him and all that. And to follow him on Instagram, it's at Sean M. Rolay. Follow him if you want to see some good artwork, something creative. He got what y'all need out there. You feel me? And then, but yeah, like I was saying, I wasn't really there to like network. While I was taking pictures and like recording the event a little bit on Snapchat real quick, like I would speak to a couple artists, but not real crazy. I say I only got like I think like one or two business cards, and I just kept it from there because it was just like, after I do that, make my rounds of taking a picture, showing off the event, I'm having a good time. I just went back to where my cousin was, and chill with him and everybody who I knew, from his crew and all that. Shout out to all of them too. You feel me? They cool dudes, and it was a dope experience. You know what I mean? I'm glad he invited that. I'm glad he invited me. You feel me? I like that joint a lot. Then so this past weekend I ended up going to the MadGallery NYC event, and it was a 2-day event on a Friday and a Saturday. The first time, I mean, yeah, Friday and a Saturday. I went Friday, and I got there kind of late. Like I didn't get there to where it was over. You know what I'm saying? But I just got there to where when I got there, a couple people's business cards was gone. So out of the 10 the first day, I got about like, I think six or seven. I think if that, like 6 or 7, like I think like six. I think like six. But anyway, the people who didn't have the business cards, it was crazy because I spoke to them and they were real down to earth, had great personalities. Their artwork was amazing. Everything they did, it was just fire. Shout out to MadGallery NYC. Their event was crazy. But yeah, the people who didn't have the business cards, I spoke to them, and it was bugged out to me because I spoke to them. We exchanged info. Well, at first we exchanged, who we are, what we do, things like that. And they just like, I handed them my phone, and they gave me their info. They added me to their Instagram page and all of that, and I still got them on there, and everything is cool. Like, but and then the second day was the same situation. I got there like slightly earlier, than Friday, and it was all good. Exchanged contact info, exchanged Instagram pages, everything. Everybody out there, it was a lot of love. It was a lot of like good vibes out there. You feel me? The funny thing about it though is that was my first time being that I was starting a podcast and I'm promoting myself. The only weird thing was like actually going to an event like that, and I didn't know anybody, or I wasn't with anybody. That was, I can't lie, that was like a little scary for me. Not necessarily scary, like, oh, I don't know what to do, but it was just like damn, like I'm really here like promoting myself and like really trying to get to know people and all that. So it was just crazy being in a room full of people you like don't know, because some of them I knew all the artists didn't know each other because some was like from out of state, you know what I'm saying, different boroughs. I probably had like two or three people who knew each other from a different art show or working together somehow, some way, but really they all didn't know each other. But they all, in these events, everybody who's an artist are there with their crew and there with their people, so it's like they still comfortable, like even though they may be nervous a little, whatever, because I know at anytime someone has something to do or trying to showcase their talent or skill, especially at an event, just like athletes when they play a game, it's time to play the game. Everybody get nervous, but by having supporters there, they become like comfortable and willing to talk and be themselves a little more. So me, I'm just there by myself, like, oh snap, who the first artist I'ma go to? You feel me? Like, just that was my thing. Like, alright, who the first artist I'ma go to? Like, I was just sitting there, like, alright, what's the first picture I'ma take? I can't front. It was so funny because I was sitting there, like, yo, I gotta be looking like some dude who's just lost right now. You feel me? Like, I look like I don't even belong here. But after a while, you know what I mean? As soon as I can't front, as soon as I took my first picture, I was good after that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Walking around, just talking to people, like really asking them like, yo, who art is this? You feel me? That's when I was on my social shit. You feel me? Really like, yeah, yeah, it was good. Yo, you did this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you did this is fire. You feel me? But that's when I got comfortable. And and that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been really loving the podcast and this whole like Instagram and these events. I've been loving this whole situation, what I've been doing, because it's like helping me explore a whole nother thing. You feel me? So that's dope. The crazy thing too, like what I like about this whole art thing, especially going to these events, is like all of them are doing something different. Some may be doing graphic design, taking pictures, photography. Um, some may be like like have crazy big like sketches, but with like pen and just like whatever pen they use, ink, whatever it is they use. And then you have your painters, you know, you have your painters. There was one girl there with who did something like a Michael Jackson thing with neon lights. Some dude was there, he had pictures where it's like I don't know what he used or like what type of editing thing he used or even what type of camera, I don't know, but the picture he took was like, yo, I could really walk through this scene right now. It was like that defined. It was that definition of that picture was bugged out, you know what I'm saying? But it was crazy. And even the painters who were there, like obviously they all paint, but they all painted different, and each of them had that same like ooh reaction, like, yo, this is crazy. So it showed like individuality. They all had great personalities. And but out of all the artists, like the one thing that I say all of them had in common when I spoke to them, and what I'm saying is that they actually, like, while speaking to them, it helped me, and it's making me look at my craft and my passion different, is that they all were speaking in a place like you can tell, like the love for what they was doing was there while they was telling me all of this, while they was explaining this, while they was like promoting themselves. Like you can tell they really love doing this. Like this is something like when they wake up, they're hyped to do this. Like it's like, yeah, yo, like I'm really gonna do this. Like this is what I want to do. And they all had that vibe, and they all had that pretty much that energy and that like that answer. You heard it in their tone of voice where it's like, yeah, yo, I do this. Yo, thanks a lot, man. Like, yo, I started off, you know what I'm saying? At first I wanted to do this, but I switched it up. So they giving me feedback, like, and I'm sitting there like, yo, they really like, they happy. You feel me? I seen the happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, so shout out to people at the MadGallery. Shout out to the people. Shout out to BrianniT, who did the Views exhibit. Those events are crazy. I've been setting up to go to a couple more. So that's what's been going on. And the networking, I love it. Talking to different people, seeing their backgrounds. I loved every minute of that. And it was one situation where I was at the MadGallery. So while I was talking to the girl, I was talking to one of the artists, her sister, because the sister does art too, but she wasn't in the art show. She was just supporting her sister. And I don't know, the sister who I was like kind of talking to a little bit as far as like the background and all that, because she was one of those who I asked, yo, did you do this, or whose is this? I don't know. It was some other random dude. He was mad cool too. I don't know if it was her boyfriend or whoever, but shout out to homie too. It was they were cool people. But he's a director. He's a creative director for something. I can't lie. Like it was so many people I forgot, but he doing his thing, and she's an artist. So when I was talking to them, I was explaining like, yeah, I'm I'm doing my I have a podcast which I just started because I had to let them know I just started. I didn't want them to think like, oh, word, like you established. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they go to mine. It's like, oh, this nigga here just got. You know what I mean? He just started. You feel me? Like, nah. But I keep it 100. Like, I was like, yo, I just started my podcast. I even started my Instagram page with this whole art theme, stuff like that. So they like, oh, word, cool, cool, this and that. So, they followed me. Like I said, they didn't have business cards on them, and they followed me. You know what I'm saying? On the joint. They follow me on my gram. So I'm like, damn, yo, like people really like they believe. And which I believe too. And I'm just like just seeing it first hand. It's like, yeah, Tim, you doing your thing. So while we was talking, she asked me, yeah, like what was your reason like for starting the podcast? So I was like, nah, nah. So I was like, I had told her like, like I'm in the like I love art a lot. Like I just love it like when it's on the street or it's a drawing, like I'm one of those. I like creative things like with color, anything. Like, I know a lot of people do, but like a lot of drawings I like. And the reason why I started the podcast was because I wanted to provide like a channel that gives like people who are up and coming a chance to speak. Shout out to every platform that has like celebrities on there speaking, because that's dope too. I love to have that too. And like, and these celebrities are able to encourage up and comings on how to get on, because they were up and coming at one point in their life too. But I just want to give a platform where up and comers are speaking and talking about their background, and talking about the level where they at or the goals that they trying to accomplish. So the person who's listening, who who's in the same field, they may not have the answers. So by listening to that interview where I have somebody who's in that same field, they'll have some sort of guidance or an answer to be able to go to the next step or hit the next level. Like, cause sometimes a person just need that one answer or that one way to get through that door that they locked out of at the moment. So that's why I was telling, it was just more of like, I want people to have a voice who's really not claim to be celebrity status, which is like, it's cool to be celebrity status, but it's like, yo, like there's people out there who are doing amazing things, and they don't have it, and they're not on TV every day, or they not getting chased down by paparazzi. You feel me? So, but that's what I told her. It was just for the platform to get up and coming people to speak, and people who may be at a level already that they can speak and explain what they're trying to do, explain how they got into the art world, how they create their pieces and things like that. So that's where I got it. But that's what I explained to her in the convo. And they was feeling it, you know what I'm saying? They understood, they believe, and I ain't gonna sit there and lie about something like that. You feel me? That's corny to even lie. But I gave her my explanation, you feel me? So that was pretty much it as far as the convo. But it started really like in Texas, you know what I'm saying? My cousin Mark, I was out there coaching and all that. My cousin Mark, me and him is tight or whatever. He called one day, and we chopping it up, talking, and he like, hey, yo, what's good? We laughing at like little current events, you know what I'm saying, the different things and all that, making jokes. And he brings up, I'm talking to him about the mood, like his music and all that. He does music too. You feel me? You can follow him at King Dosh. You know what I'm saying? King Dosh, 3 H's. You feel me? You can follow him on the gram. But he came up like with a joke or whatever. We laughing. He was like, yo, you ever heard of like a dude named Tax Stone on a podcast? So at first I was like, nah, what's that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, podcast, like, what's that? He's like, yo, that's some like radio show, like not necessarily a radio show, but like where people on SoundCloud just record and talk about things. But it's a specific dude named Tax Stone. He was like, yo, he mad funny. Yo, you gonna mess with him? He speak his mind. He gonna have you laughing. Yo, you really gonna mess with it. So and we was talking, and he was like, hey, yo, son, like I kind of like, he was like, yo, look into that because I feel like that's something you may like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, I'm going to check it out, you know what I'm saying? I really wasn't like trying to pursue it though, but it was like, all right, I'm definitely going to check it out, you know what I'm saying? Because I know like when my cousin say something is going to be funny, I know I'm going to fuck with it. You get what I'm saying? So, I go to the Taxstone joint that night or whatever. It was like another night, you feel me? Whatever night it was, I tuned in. So, I'm listening. And me and my girl, we laughing like, yo, this is crazy. You get what I'm saying? Like, yo, he mad funny. Like, some of it is like random, you feel me? But I mess with it though. I like it. So then, I'm still thinking, I'm like, all right, yo, I could do, like, I think I could do something like this. Well, let me say this. I know I can do something like this, but I know I can do it, but it's just the fact, like, I'm not gonna do something and do it like halfway. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, I know I could do it, but I don't know. Let me still think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't say it to like, oh, I know I could do something like this. Nah, cause Tax Stone, he does what he do like in a special way. So that's what makes it fire. You know what I'm saying? That's why I liked it a lot. Cause it's like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could picture myself doing something like this. You know what I mean? But in a different way, obviously. So that's what I'm going through with that. You feel me? So then another time, I'm sitting there, me and my girl chilling or whatever. You know, we chilling. One night. So I throw on the movie Talk to Me. You feel me? That's the joint with Don Cheadle and all that. Where he the radio joint. It was based on a radio host named Petey Green. Out in DC. Shout out to DC. Shout out to Petey Green. R.I.P. Petey Green. Who else? Yeah, shout out Tax Stone, all that. You get what I'm saying? So, bang. So I watched the movie, yo. I love that movie. Like I love that movie. I'm one of those like who just love like classic time movies, like as far as like it's based in a whole different time, like especially back in the day. I'm like the 70s, 60s, 70s, you feel me? I love those type of movies. So I'm watching that, and while watching it, I'm like, hell yeah, yo, I fuck with Petey Green. Like I could picture myself doing this again, you feel me? Like talking, I could picture myself doing this. But I'm just like, nah, it's whatever. Like I'm just enjoying the moment, just enjoying my imagination. You feel me? The fantasy of me. I'm just putting myself in the situation he was going through or he was doing. You feel me? So that's what made me feel like I could do it at the moment, but I still wasn't trying to pursue it. So then I'm just, you know what I'm saying, like that, and then after a while, that's when I told y'all back in the ad interview how it got started, and like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the podcast, but I'm gonna do it in a sense of like a theme as far as have a whole bunch of artists, no matter what they do, but have them all talk about how they got into it and things like that, like I said before. And I'm gonna make sure they all like up and coming artists. You feel me? So, but that's the reason pretty much why I started was I wanted to give a platform to people so they can be heard. You feel me? I feel like everybody wants to be heard one time in their life. Everybody needs to feel important. Everybody needs to feel like they are doing something, especially when they are, and they're trying and they're putting themselves out there, networking and doing events and doing shows and contests and things like that. They all deserve a chance to be heard and seen at least once. So yeah, that was pretty much why I started, and that was my influences. And it's crazy. Like I was telling y'all before, how much I really like art. My favorite like art style is graffiti. And I really love it just for the simple fact like it may like some may like it just may look the same when it's on the wall, but it's really not the same. Like, cause it's so crazy to me how like a word can be spelled and you can't even see the word. Like you can't even see that it's spelled that word. And that's why I love it. The color coordination is crazy. And then on top of that, my me being from New York, which is a given, is just like I love graffiti. I was just like born into it. Every time I'm walking around, it's like, all right, boom. There's graffiti on the wall. There's graffiti here. Or there's a mural here. There's painting. You know what I'm saying? It even be on the floor sometimes, and it's like, yo, I love this. And my father, he put me on to like, he put me on to like Beach Street and Wild Style and all that. So that's crazy. With the whole break dancing back in the 80s, being from the Bronx and all that. And that's what I'm saying? That's what I grew up on. Shout out to my pops for that. You get what I'm saying? Beach Street was fire. You know, break dancing, graffiti, hip hop, all that. And then Wild Style, it's pretty much the same thing, but it was more like telling stories on, like how there's competition with certain areas or even certain artists, or like how they be having like problems with people who just want to like mess up the art as far as like writing some whack joint on it. You get what I'm saying? To mess it up. And then also what made me like that too is the fact like it was a like documentary type movie, you feel me? And they also what made me like it even more was like they even talked about like the risk part, where like some of them get arrested or some of them got to run from cops because they messing up the trains and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And then there was one joint where the moms is on there talking like, oh, I want him to get a job and all that, but I'm telling him to stop. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny that it's like, yo, this is the is it's a crazy mentality that we have. You know what I'm saying? And while the moms are saying that, oh, I want him to stop, I want him to do this. You know what I'm saying? I want him to do this. The son is sitting there like, nah, I'm never gonna stop. You get what I'm saying? I'm never gonna stop. Like, this is what I love. Like, nobody gonna stop me. I don't care about none of that. And it's just like, yo, that's what we need. The passion, the love for things. Because, yeah, money comes and goes, but that passion and the love for something is gonna give you everything you want. And it doesn't have to be money. You feel me? But yeah, that's my favorite, what I'm saying? That's my favorite art style, and those are the reasons why I love graffiti so much. You get what I'm saying? So then, it's crazy. I also want to talk about like what art means to me, you feel me? Cause in these documentaries and all that, I be hearing people talk. I be hearing their answers, and on TV for some reason, like being now that I experienced that, like I've been to art shows and seeing artists, it's only been to a couple, but seeing that they're different from like the art shows that's seen on TV. Like the art shows that they put on TV, everybody's real like bougie and like upscale and corny. So I feel like sometimes they give you those cliche answers, and it's like, art, I understand like art is an expression and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You right, I get it, but for you, like every individual must have like a different outlook, which I know they do, but I mean when they're explaining the answer of what is art, I mean, yo, you can't possibly tell me that, oh yeah, it's an expression of everybody. You can't tell. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. Don't get me mad. My fault. Don't get me mad. But anyway, so you know what I'm saying? I don't like that. My my thing, how I feel like art is like more of a feeling that inspires like others to create. For instance, if I draw, if for instance, as you can see, my cousin put me on a Tax Stone, and I liked what Tax Stone did. And it's like, yo, I like what you doing. That inspired me. Like, yeah, yo, I can picture myself doing it. So let me do something a different way. Like artists, like celebrities, they had their favorite rappers that they liked growing up. And it's like, yo, I want to be a rapper, but I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it a different way. So I feel like it's like a chain reaction. It's like a domino effect. It's a feeling that gets people to create, and it gets the next person to create. As far as like, I create something, you like it, you create something that's different, or maybe it becomes like an advanced form of what I did, and the next person or next couple people like it, they get inspired. So now it's like a whole chain reaction, like a domino effect. And being that it's all in the art form, we happen to connect somehow, some way. Not like, oh, I started this and I birthed y'all. No, it's just the fact like we connect in the sense of being that we're in the same field. We happen to run into each other at all these events or whatever's going on at that particular time. So that's how I feel. Like art is more of a feeling that like boosts you up to do something, opens your mind, takes you to a place that only you can see until you are able to like convince others, you know what I mean? So that's how I feel about the whole joint. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yo, oh yeah, as a matter of fact, yo, yeah, before I get into all the other stuff, yeah, shout out to the NBA, man. Like they had the season opener was today, you feel me? So Knicks and Cavs played. The Knicks as usual took that L. But it's all good, you feel me? We gonna overcome from that. You know what I mean? We gonna overcome from that and everything gonna be good. Congrats on the Cavs for getting their rings. That's what's up. And anyway, yeah, I was watching the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs, but I'm like, nah, never mind. So I was like, nah, it's the first couple games of the season. I ain't really missing nothing. You feel me? So from time to time, I'll just switch back over. But then I was like, you know what? Nah, it's over. I'm about to just chill in the room. You know what I mean? Talk to y'all. And then I'm over here. I just threw on YouTube. You feel me? While I'm talking to y'all, I'm over here. I'm in the battle rap as well. Just listening to battle rap and liking it. One day I need to go to these events because I love to speak to a couple of the artists that's in the battle rap world. And I just be tuned into the latest battles, or right now as we speak, I'm watching Queen's Flip, you feel me? Shout out to Queen's Flip, he be wildin'. You get what I'm saying? He be having reviews and all that. That joint is fire, but yo, he be wildin'. Nigga look stinking at Carmen Diego hat. You know what I mean? Like nigga got a stink beard. But anyway, yeah, back to what I was saying. Yo, so it's been crazy, man. Like doing this podcast because a couple days already people been like messaging me how much they love the pictures I've been posting, asking me, like where did I find it, and I have the location on my pics, but maybe they so like into the picture, they miss it and they'll message me and all that, which is no problem. I still give them the answer. I never want to take an experience away from somebody, especially when they're from like out of town and they may have a chance to see it, being that they came down to New York to visit. Even if it's somebody from the city, because sometimes it'd be funny that people from the city don't really take advantage of the things like tourists do. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't see like the significance, or they don't embrace it how the way tourists do. So I'll give the answer. You feel me? I'll be like, yeah, I took it over here, or I took this train. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? I'll be letting them know, and then on top of that, I also been getting feedback through the messages on my podcast, good reviews already. People like it. So, I'm just happy to see that I'm reaching out to people and they comfortable with the content and everything. You know what I'm saying? And I really wanna talk about before I bounce, you feel me? Like I really wanna talk about like 4 keys, that people should have whenever they trying to create something, you feel me? Like, and that's just like belief, preparation, practice, and consistency. You know what I mean? Because with this podcast, I can't front. I thought, like, I know it wasn't easy because I feel like it's not easy because to sit here, like, it's easy to me from experience. It's easy as far as when I'm interviewing somebody and you able to feed off of them. Like you able to feed off their energy, feed off their answers, able to say jokes, you know what I'm saying, able to make them feel comfortable and what they feel special as far as like, yo, he really want to know about me, which is exactly true. I want you to be heard. So that's the easy part. The hard part, I can't front. I can't front. This episode's like this. You know what I'm saying, where I'm talking and I'm explaining my situation. Now, if somebody on the other, was right here next to me and they asking me all this, yeah, I'm gonna communicate more, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna answer, but it'll be able to feed off the person, you know what I'm saying, explain it more. But just sitting here talking, I feel like while I'm doing this, I can't front, being that this is new to me, I feel like I'm presenting like work to my teacher in front of the whole class. I hated those days, yo. I hated those days. You feel me? Where you gotta present your work, and I be always realizing like, yo, I grew up like to learn like, yo, I'd rather just be first. I'd rather get it out the way. You feel me? Where I could chill the rest of the days we presenting. So that's how it feel like. It's like an adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? Even at times, it's so new to me. Even at times when when I recorded my last two, it's like even with them, to start off, it's like, yo, you feel funny, you start laughing or whatever, but the experience is crazy. The experience is crazy. I'm getting what I do love, which is hard though. It's a difficult thing to do, Um, but I've been getting the hang of it. Is the scheduling, like getting the other artists as far as, doing that. And that's what I say, like it's a work in progress, but I'm loving every minute of it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the artists who I'm gonna be having on the upcoming shows already, got them booked. So we gonna be good, you feel me? I just wanted to give y'all a little bit about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all go to these episodes, y'all know where this is all coming from. You feel me? I never want to have my people lost. You know what I'm saying? I always want them to understand, because I want y'all to just for the moment be lost when I'm talking to the next person. You feel me? When I'm talking to the new artist, when I'm talking to this person or that person, y'all can be lost for the moment until they explain themselves. But when y'all hop on the channel, I really want y'all to know why y'all hopping on this channel and what y'all looking for, or just to hear good convo. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, you know, the 4 keys, you feel me, that I feel like people should have, or people should learn to have. You get what I'm saying? Like I was saying before, is belief, preparation, practice, and consistency. And obviously with anything you want to do, of course you gotta believe in yourself. You get what I'm saying? You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta have the confidence. People never let a person tell you, yo, you think too highly of yourself. Nah, as long as it ain't coming from an arrogant place, then no. Like, you have to think highly of yourself, because if you don't, who will? Because nobody cares, you feel me? And it's all about belief. Then on top of that, it's, preparation. You feel me? Which, preparation and practice, is pretty much in the same thing, but always just be prepared for whatever. And when I say that, it's just having a plan A, B, and C. You feel me? At least plan A and B. And then if you on top of your game, you got plan C ready. So your preparation, because sometimes things may not work out in your favor. So you got to be prepared for all these. You got to, even though you want it to be successful, when you could picture it being successful, you know that something down the line ain't gonna go right. So sometimes you have to think like, okay, I know this is a great idea, but what would happen if it really doesn't work out? Then you gotta just be prepared. You gotta prepare for it. You feel me? You gotta be like, all right, if this don't work out, I'ma do it this way, or I'ma contact this person. Whether it's scheduling, whether it's time consuming, whether it deals with time scheduling, your end, you know what I'm saying, you keeping your word, anything. You just gotta be prepared. You feel me? And then practice. Like, just always keep yourself sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like, never have like a closed mind about it. Open your mind. You feel me? And when I say that, it's more of just like practice, whether your delivery, your pitch, practice certain questions, like watch other interviews, listen to different type of music, cause certain, you know what I'm saying, read certain books or whatever, or read a different type of book or writing that you normally wouldn't read, because when you read these different things, they open your mind, and you just practicing, and then you practicing how to speak, going up to people. I can't front, like I really learned I'm really learning a lot from all of this. And the other day, I was helping this one teacher or whatever, because like the superintendents was coming to, do they, I guess, school district check, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just helping this one teacher, being that, I work in the school as well. And it was funny because she was like, yo, Tim, is it cool if you can like write these sentence starters up for me or whatever like that? So I'm like, I bet, I got you. So she showed me, and it was the colorful paper with the lines, like the two lines on the top and the bottom, and the dotted lines in the middle where you gotta write correctly, like. So I was looking, I did that drink. That was the first time I ever felt like nervous to do that. And I'm like, I haven't did this in years. And it's so funny because every time I was in school, like high school, well, really high school and definitely college, I would always be like, in class talking to my friends, like, all this stuff, we doing in school. We not gonna see this outside of school. And what she was asking me to do, I had that shit in like first, second grade or kindergarten or some joint like that. And I'm like, and I felt nervous, like, cause you know what I'm saying? I was like, my handwriting, like, I really not, like, I felt like she was forcing me to write neat. You get what I'm saying? Which is no problem. I'm gonna do the best I can. And it turned out great, but it was like, I haven't did this since like pre-K, like first grade. I haven't did this in years, and I'm 26 now, and it comes back around. And I was telling her that, me and her started laughing, you feel me? And it's just like, that's crazy. So always keep yourself sharp. You know what I'm saying? Always keep yourself sharp, practice, prepare. You know what I'm saying? You never know when you're going to run into something that's gonna throw you off your game, because everybody gets thrown off. It's all about how you react to it. You feel me? And then the last thing, which I feel is that it connects with all that, or even enhances all the others, is just consistency. You know what I'm saying? Never feel like you have to be grade A immediately. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's consistency. My fault for the special ed consistency. My fault. I'm retarded. But consistency, like every, like when you say, I'ma do this, or I'ma do it this way I'm gonna have a certain pattern, and you know that formula or that pattern works for you, then keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? Show people, because that's what I feel like people become, like that's how people become attracted to you. Yeah, obviously you got to be good at what you do, or you got to have some sort of appeal, or whatever it is a person may like in whatever it is they like. But they are attracted to consistency, for the simple fact is like, yo, this person doesn't stop. Like this person, and he or she is following their word as of what they doing. You feel me? Like it's like, yo, consistency. If you're gonna practice, you're gonna work out, you're gonna draw, you're gonna whatever it is you do. You feel me? Create clothes, whatever you rap, you know what I'm saying? You wanna become a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, you gotta be consistent at what you do. You know what I'm saying? You have to be consistent, and that's the crazy thing, that I've been realizing since I started this podcast, and since I've been working on starting my own business, is consistency. You feel me? So, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Today was a good night. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, the NBA season opened up. My man's Melo took that L. You feel me? I don't even know what's going on with the KD game and all that. So right now I'm just chilling. Same old, watching these Queens flip videos. And that's pretty much it, you feel me? So I want y'all, to have a good night, and I'll holler. Alright, later.